Tradition of ceramics in this city till today, since the beginning of the 20th century, is in the hands of the Armenians. This was an Armenian artist, and this is of course his signature, being the least changed of things, which has been a little bit squashed and a little bit, it doesn't really matter. Everybody's here, from the Medusas to the silky, what are the Scottish mermaids called?
Gotcha.
Very touching companies this.
I photographed it.
Yeah, this is a little bit off the academic text which accompanies this particular picture in our exhibition. I was so moved, I really can't tell you, I was so moved that they made this choice of this picture in this place with such prominence.
I know, it's very appropriate.
There aren't that many representations of Jerusalem because Jerusalem is its own representative. Yeah. You're not supposed to come and take a picture of Jerusalem.
Exactly. Good. You want to come here? Yeah, man. You want to start? You want to cost my first trip to Jerusalem. I don't know what that is or where that goes, but I've got to get a photo so I can send it off to my friends overseas.
It transcends it, and Jerusalem speaks for itself because everybody wants a foothold. And in Victorian times, the British weren't here back then, it was still Ottoman Turkey.
Yes.
Every major power in the world wanted to have a foothold here in Jerusalem, here in the Holy Land, and they were not in a position to open an embassy because there was no such place as Israel or Palestine. There was such a place as Jerusalem. So all these major powers, starting with the Russians, and we're talking now about the Tsarist Russia, okay? All of them had this foothold and tried to influence affairs here. There are only two which I'm going to try for us to get a foothold into. One of them is the Latin Patriarchate, in other words, the representative of the Vatican. Try. And continue from there into the Greek Orthodox Archpatriarch. He owes me an awful lot, including giving us the intellectual property rights for the map. The map of the old map of Jerusalem. Okay.
The British government of Lord Melbourne opened a consulate here at the invitation of Muhammad Ali.
And that would have been in the old city.
That was when he briefly conquered Syria. This was considered part of Syria.
Correct.
And they kept it open, and that's from where Lord Shaftesbury and his Anglican revived Jewish homeland as an Anglican in Jerusalem started back in the 1840s.
As our official historian and guide, Yoni, who was one of the exhibition builders, would have known exactly which building that was, where they were, and who actually lived there or worked there, and in which particular years. Institut Français, you know that the Goethe Institute amongst German embassies around the world, there's a Goethe Institute where there's a Cervantes Institute where you go to learn Spanish, and this is the only one which is here and not in Tel Aviv.
The Institute Français.
Okay, Romain Gary. It's named after the French writer. And if any of my students, I'm not talking about visitors, I mean students, really want to get the whole thing in an image, I'll bring them here and say what the whole French Revolution was all about.
Actually, I want to get a photograph of that. My friend Pascal will be impressed. פגישה עם מי, בנג'י?
עם מי שהיא
עם
מייצגת.
הקדוש ברוך הוא, עם מי
לא,
אתה
לא,
רוצה?
לא, זה אני לא צריך לבקש ממך.
למה לא?
אני די
אולי אני
קשור.
שליחה?
עם אשתי?
שליחה.
את
שליחה
בתור
שלו.
שליחה של?
הקדוש ברוך הוא.
חשבתי אולי מהוויס יחד עם שלומי שבת. מצלם את המישהו שם.
הוא הכוכב, הוא השחקן.
הייתם מתנגדים להצטלם עם אורח מאנגליה על הספסל שלכם? מה שנקרא...
You want to take photo, go there, follow Benji, David.
מה זה אני מצטער שהפרעתי?
לא, אין בעיה, יש שם בפינת אישור.
אני רק אמרתי לו שלכל ירושלמי שאתה פוגש פה יש סיפור.
נכון, זה נכון. כל בן אדם יש סיפור, גם לכל אבן. כל בן אדם בחיים יש לו סיפור. זה מסתיר את ה...
לא אוהב את הסיפור שלך. תודה רבה.
תודה, תודה.
התנצלות על ההפרעה.
לא, נשארנו סיגריה.
או, בנג'י.
There's this kind of lion, what's it called, rampart? A lion like this, the Scottish lion. Lion rampart. And this is what was left after the competition for decorating the lions of Jerusalem. It's hardly what you asked about order. If you look at this building, you see all the pock marks from 47, 48. And this is the beginning of the wall. Dividing Jerusalem between 48 and 67.
Right here.
The wall is here. The wall came down, and only David Ben-Gurion said not just the wall which divides, but the whole city wall should be taken down. You imagine what World War III would have looked like?
Yeah, I know. But here's the thing was that Jerusalem will never be divided again, right?
It wasn't his thing. It was actually the thing of the philosopher-advisor, geographer-philosopher-advisor to the then mayor of Jerusalem.
Okay.
Just going to see. Is there a Lonely Planet book available for Canada?
There should be.
Yeah.
Enjoy your trip.
Enjoy your trip. Yeah, I live in Manchester, England.
Oh, great. I have
Oh yeah.
Did you ever see the musical or the movie here?
I've never actually gone to a production.
Okay, but you know some of the background music.
Yeah.
So the song which he wrote is called Manchester, England, England, across the Atlantic Sea. And I'm a genius, and I believe in God, and God believes in Claude. That's me.
Very good.
Wow. Well,
I've never seen hair.
You wrote it?
I give little reminders of people who read Lonely Planet with geographical information.
Northeast part, Toronto. You live in Toronto now? No.
At the moment.
Which part?
Downtown.
Okay, I lived at, you know, the Cameron pub?
Oh, yeah.
I lived there about
Yeah.
25 years ago. No, in Queen Street. Queen Street.
Is it on Queen? Okay.
Yeah, I used to own a record shop at Queen and Spadina
Oh, great.
years ago. I mean, I'm talking many years ago. And I worked briefly at the HMV in Youngstown. And I also worked at near the art gallery. There used to be a Pathé Sound.
Yeah, you were all over there. Well,
Yeah,
there's
it's
a
a
revival.
beautiful city.
There's a revival.
I worked at a post-production sound facility. It was a beautiful city. But I mean, I
You're
lived
not on a commission right now from the municipal authorities in your city.
to sell. No, I left Toronto 18 years ago. I'll probably never go back because the place I want to go is actually British Columbia.
I've not met this gentleman more than a few minutes ago,
Yeah.
but I've got the feeling that after he goes through Jerusalem, however long it takes him, whatever he encounters, he's not going back to where he came from.
You don't think on the plateau of Jesus Christ?
Whatever and whoever.
You know, yesterday night, just down there, I got out of the Essex Gate and I saw 20 SWAT suits running. It must be a little riot or something.
There is all the time.
This is coming.
If this is World War III, this is going to be what does Buddha call it? Nirvana.
Yeah.
If it isn't going to be World War III, called jihad, then it's going to be Nirvana. Watch every single young and old man and woman you see going past, and see on them the face of Nirvana. That's up to your discernment. Nobody's going to tell you about it.
Yeah, this is all up to our discernment. But it will definitely take place.
We're taking this entrance to the old city, which is in
Yeah,
fact
walking
new.
We're going to
You know what? It doesn't matter if it is or it isn't. 2,000 years of people coming along and saying, this is it. I've turned it into this is it. Part of it, filling it in, so that the rest of it stays there.
Well, we should meet for a coffee sometime. Yeah, I really leave on Thursday. Are you making a documentary on your travel?
Our visitors are making.
You're from
they
here?
are. I'm from here with a vengeance, not just from here.
I film everything. I'm trying to make a super documentary about Israel.
That's education. Collège de Frères, the high school of the brothers. The brothers in this particular case is the Franciscan.
Well, the
monks.
Christian brothers.
Not the Christian, but Franciscan.
Uh-huh.
The Franciscans are the ones with a brown robe and a white cord hanging around here. And now I'm going to bring you to the place which is the result of my latest travels overseas and how it's connected with Jerusalem. How are you? When are we going to see your sweet face? I said, when are we going to see your sweet face? Oh, I'm awfully sorry. I know that Isaac likes to drag you out of bed in the wee small hours. I know. I saw it with my own eyes. My time over here is permanent. I've got a fixed address, a fixed income, and a fixed open armed welcome to all those who wish to come. Karen, my dear, I'm giving you back to Isaac because he's bugging me with his camera. For some reason, he wants to record the telephone call. So take Isaac and look after yourself. A huge, huge hug to you.
What is it?
This is the lowest sculpture on earth by a sculptor called Olman. He took two of these manhole covers, one here, one there, saying only together can they function as a water infrastructure. And that's what they look like. He's then got a whole philosophy about where the pipes go and why the pipes can't be broken up and shared and divided even underground. So he said, at this point, which is called ground zero, at this point, ground zero, this is the left hand, and there, in that direction in the old city, in the new city in Jaffa, is the right hand, with exactly the mirror image.
Okay, cool.
When you hear the voice of the bells or the voice of the muezzin calling the faithful to prayer, you know that what you just said is true. A vehicle in here. Right back with the narrow. David, what you need is this. Take the picture, and when we come out, here we go again. What I say to you is true.
Yeah.
Let's go in and try our luck.
Yeah.
Good morning. Is somebody here by any chance? Is it Gloria? Yes. Could I just use the toilets downstairs, and then we'll go and look for him there? Thank you. My friend, everyone is here. This is Joe Naval. Good morning.
Where are we now, Benji?
We are looking for Samir.
He's not here.
No, I was told that he's at the Gloria. I went to Malta to justify that particular painting of a knight of Malta who is an offspring of the Franciscans. I'll tell you about the Franciscans. This chap. This is a Crusader castle, and this is the Lion Mantle. So, everything in this country is symbolical. Wherever you look, if you don't know what it means, go and learn where it comes from, who put it there, and what was his agenda when he did so. Come downstairs. This is the most brilliant piece of mosaic, which is not of a view, not of a man, but of the Knights Templars with the cross of Jerusalem. This is the emblem for generations upon generations of Arab Christian Jerusalemites. It's called the Jerusalem Cross, and it's adopted from the Franciscans, who are the ones that are responsible for all church property, all Vatican property in the Holy Land. What is called Custodia Terra Sancta, custody of the Holy Land. And they're the guys that we have to look at, not at Dan Brown, even though it's useful to have that stuff kind of, humming behind your ear. You really want to see and know, you have to find out who the Franciscans inherited their papal mandate from. What was the purpose of it? What is the purpose of it today? The building next door with the high school, the best high school in Jerusalem, the very best high school, of all levels. The Franciscans were the ones who actually brought this to the present day after they'd already received the mandate from that which was cancelled by the church. And in the office of my friend Samir, who is the manager of this film, he's the cornerstone of the alliance that I'm trying to build here in Jerusalem for commercial purposes, of bringing our exhibition of maps to all the population of this country, starting with high school students, which we've already been given a mandate for from the Ministry of Education. They don't know what it's all about yet.
I don't need to use it.
Okay. These are the remnants of the Crusader castle which was built here, called Tancred's Tower. Tancred was one of the kings of Jerusalem and one of these 9 families. And this building, which is all Vatican property, remember that the Vatican once again has a symbol. There is a symbol of the Vatican as there is a symbol of Roman Catholic property, which is or which may not be. We're about to get thrown out. The apostle.
So again, Petrus means?
Petrus means rock.
Okay.
Peter, Pierre.
Peter. And in Arabic?
In Arabic, as a personal name, Petrus is the Peter. And my friend Peter calls himself Butrus. There was once a Secretary General of the United Nations
Peter Gali.
who called himself Butrus Gali. And by the way, he had a Jewish wife. And by the way, he was a Copt.
A Copt, yeah.
He was from the Coptic Church, the ones who are getting steamrolled now by the Muslims.
Yeah, in Egypt, yeah.
Round the corner, there's a really cute little chiseled emblem which says, Isa is the name. Isa is the Arabic name for Jesus. Isa, Jesus. Isa is the name, and basketball is the game. Nazareth, Rex Yehudim.
Yeah.
INRI.
Not the Jesus.
Peace is the aim.
Please,
Please ignore spelling mistakes. In my official profession, David, of surveyor and mapmaker, cartographer, where most of our work is done by remote sensing, by drones and by satellites, if something is true to the extent that it was exactly what Moses received on Mount Sinai, yeah? What Moses received was Chakuk B'Sela. This is the sign of a licensed surveyor, that he actually takes his hammer and chisel and marks the place. And therefore, in Hebrew, if we say something is absolutely true, irrevocably true, then it is hammered, and this wouldn't pass because of the E.
Not carved in stone?
No, you don't say, maybe you do say carved in stone. I've never seen the expression in English, so it may well.
How do you say it in English?
I say it in Hebrew, Chakuk B'Sela.
And in English?
Carved in stone. And this I discovered here. There is in fact a basketball court somewhere behind these walls. And what the man wanted to say was, even sport at the level of NBA is something which Jesus is attuned to and belongs to. So Isa is the name. Here is the emblem of the basketball. This is the basketball itself. And here, of course, is the net. And this is actually made by those men who still make a livelihood and chiseling rock to put on facing stone or here.
He says in Arabic.
Sorry. Here, someone put some additional graffiti here. But each one of these stones is chiseled like this, hammer and chisel. The name for Jesus in Arabic. Everywhere that it appears in our exhibition, for example, it's Jesus. And there's a lot about Jesus there. Too much for comfort. It's the very fact that Jerusalem is no one's. There are 1 million stall holders, people that have licenses to do this, that, and the other, including the fact that they're written down in the Talmud. This is the property of the church. The biggest property owner in the old city, in the whole city of Jerusalem is the Greek Catholic, the Greek Orthodox Church, which I'm going to try. Assalamu alaikum. Which I'm going to. A gentle Christian priest, Arab speaking.
Again.
A gentleman. You saw how he was dressed, and he had the dog collar. Okay, so he was a priest, but not one of the glaringly obvious. Everywhere you look, there is another organization, another collective of people. Everybody with their own
Agenda.
But the agenda in this particular case must be respect for the other's agenda, and there isn't that yet.
Yeah.
That doesn't yet exist. The Greek Orthodox priests in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre go fisticuffs with the Georgians. So we went to Georgia to see what exactly does the church in Georgia have by way of holding the faithful by the laws.
Yeah.
And I found it. And I can't tell you how much heartache went through the people who put up these. It's all Armenian, okay? I wanted to try and get us to Armenia today, to the place where, since 1920, since the Armenian massacre by the Turks, they were brought here to redecorate the church of, the Dome of the Rock. And I want to bring them here to do, in a place where I hope we'll be able to build our center one of these days, to bring them and redecorate the mosque, which is part of the central building, which is recognized and respected by Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike. The place is the tomb of the Prophet Samuel. And I only use the Arabic name of the place because when they say it in Hebrew, it's mispronounced. You know who the Rosary Sisters are?
No.
You know what a rosary is?
Yes. You see, I'm not. Catholicism is completely
It's
alien
nothing to do with Catholicism.
Yeah. Who are the Rosary Sisters? Aren't the Rosary's that funny thing that the Catholics
It's
say?
called worry beads.
Is the name basketball is the game? That's cool.
Number 2, pray for the priests of Jerusalem. It doesn't say the Pope.
I saw that.
It doesn't say the country.
So the priests.
And we are part of the priests of Jerusalem. We're the one who have discarded our priestly garments.
Oh, can I mention something completely unrelated? Do you know Israel won the European basketball thing this
So I heard a rumor about it.
year? I just thought. Maybe
I also understood that there was a Mondial in Brazil.
A what?
Mondial. World Soccer Championship.
That was in Brazil, yes. But the basketball thing is important too.
No, basketball is nothing. I haven't played basketball since I was 18 years old.
Since I was 16.
Here, my friend, 2 important emblems which you don't need. You really don't need. This is the official emblem of the Vatican.
Okay.
These are called the Keys of St. Peter,
Yeah.
and these are the triple crowns which the Pope no longer wears,
Okay.
because he's decided to go.
Simple.
And this is a mishmash of different things. First of all, it's from the Scouts, the Christian Scouts,
Okay.
with the reef knot. Yeah, nothing to do with reefers. The reef knot, which is one of the basic knots that you learn in scouting.
I was never a scout, yeah.
It doesn't matter. And
Looks
fleur de lis.
What?
Fleur
Oh,
de lis.
fleur de lis, yeah.
Once again, with the little stars being the stars of Bethlehem.
Yeah.
Okay, we could have just shot something there, but we didn't. And of course, at the very heart of the whole thing,
Jerusalem logo.
the Jerusalem
shield.
not shield, not logo, the Jerusalem.
Star.
Right. And this is where the main Latin Patriarch sits. All the properties, since we came through the new gate, all the properties that there are here all belong to and are part and parcel of the representation of the Catholic Church in the Old City, because in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre they've got a tiny little chapel. This is the beautiful musicians here in Israel. They didn't dare bring the open Pope Mobile along. So this is the... I think that the word here, Itzhaki, at the end of the top line, peregrinians, means pilgrims. Peregrination in Italy in 1964, where the country was still divided then, and there was a war between Jewish Jerusalem and Arab Jerusalem.
Every color has its meaning.
This is the old cross of Greece under the king who was deposed in 1973 by the junta, the colonels of Greece, that which put Mikis Theodorakis, for example, into prison. And when they finally found a modus vivendi with the Greek Orthodox Church, based then in Constantinopolis, in Istanbul, they had two emblems. This emblem of Greece, which is embedded in the national flag of Greece. You can't see it very well from here, but we'll go around the other side to see it. And the second emblem is a red cross on a white background, which is actually the cross of the church and of the British and of the Georgians. The Georgian national flag is exactly that flag that we just passed. The Jerusalem cross, one red cross and four small red crosses.
And what do you say about the football?
And on the way into the next stage of the old city, you notice there's nothing happening here.
Yes.
This is not Jerusalem. In the height of summer, this is not Jerusalem. The muses have been silenced. The
What do you say about the football, Benji?
About the Mondial. The British fans that came to, the English fans that came to Brazil to watch the Mondial were painted with a red cross on a white background, which is exactly the other part of the cross of Taufe. And I will speak at length about Taufe because it's frightfully important for our project. Circular lines.
No, I'm joking. I'm trying to show you.
How are you doing?
Good day, my friend.
How are you doing?
I brought visitors from overseas.
You brought visitors from overseas, but you're a man of very many resources, so I'm not surprised. How are you?
Good to see you. You know you must hold on until you feel the heart of the other person beating, don't you?
If you've seen the morning I've had, you will understand that I cannot feel the other.
In that case, we absolutely shall not detain you.
Not at all. Have a seat and have a coffee. I can't say because I have to go in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
But I'll sit down with you.
I met your brother.
No.
He
I
gave me
have.
your entire timetable for the next 5
I have to
minutes.
go to Bridgella. Come. ماريو شوف لي بالنايتس ايش في
We're not disturbing.
خشب في بالكنيسه بلا كله كسر
يعني 151 الشهر.
كله. Come. How are you, gentlemen?
You're very kind.
I'm very well. Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
Canada, but I live in England.
Ah, okay, great. Have a seat.
So many of you come damaged to your head.
You know, when I get stressed, all things start clicking. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the invitation which you haven't yet given me to come and look after you.
To look after me.
Yeah.
God looks after us all.
In that case, I'm happy to be the agent.
You're the agent of God and Almighty. Yeah.
This is Samir.
Yeah.
Possible. I just made it up.
Okay, good, great. I like I love your imagination. This is fantastic.
No man in Jerusalem or elsewhere is actually worthy, as Samir is, to look after this kind of property.
On the contrary, I think there are many more people who are more worthy than I am. I should be retired somewhere in southern Spain.
I told you
southern Spain,
I
or
should come
southern,
and look after you.
or southern France or something like that.
Okay.
You know.
Where are you from?
Jerusalem.
Oh, you're from
Yeah,
Jerusalem.
yeah, Palestinian. I'm Palestinian Arab.
Okay, no, I'm a tourist, so I
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
ask.
Ah, okay.
Me,
Yeah, sure.
everybody's
No
a
problem,
blank
no
until
problem.
I ask them the
No
question.
problem, no problem.
So you're from Jerusalem?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, I know some Arabs in Manchester from
Ah,
Jerusalem.
really?
Yeah.
Which family?
I don't know, but his name is Sohib or whatever. And I
Yeah,
don't
so
know
I
which
probably, yeah.
I don't know which family he comes from. He doesn't like it here, he likes it there.
Not sure. I know Manchester. I did my first degree there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I know it, or I knew it. I used to know it. I mean, it's been a very, very long time.
Do you know Jerusalem?
Not as well as I
When
did
you went off
Manchester.
to Manchester looking for, beautiful Mancunian ladies
Yeah.
and a name to your art which would provide you with a livelihood,
Yeah,
wasn't the place completely different when you came back?
sure. It's always the same. It's always different, very different.
Well, Jerusalem.
Ah, yeah.
Samir,
But then this is-
in these 2 days when I've seen you, the place is dead.
What do we do? People are dying.
I tell you what we do. The guns have to stop firing
Mm.
and the muses have to be reactivated.
Absolutely.
That's what these gentlemen are here to help us do.
Inshallah. Inshallah, very good. Excellent.
David is a dual citizen. He has both Canadian and British nationality. He works out of Manchester. He's an aspiring politician to run for candidature in the British Parliament.
Yeah, next
And
match.
Isaac is from Melbourne. Is a universal mathematics teacher wherever he can put his program around the globe. Listen, you heard me, Lishadogothon. I can do the same for you, it's okay.
You are the manager of Jerusalem.
Yes.
A manager?
Of Jerusalem, Benji tells me.
Benji is the manager of the world.
He just wants a little corner with a shop front that says Isa is the name and basketball is
It's
the
the
game.
game, absolutely. Absolutely. You sleep,
That would suit
you
me
sleep
fine.
well at night. You sleep well at night.
I don't sleep well at night because my lady, the one that we once spoke about in terms of officially getting married to, wants to have no truck whatsoever with the phenomenon which is called Jerusalem. And if I was just a little bit more practical, I would say she was right.
And you never found out before?
No, the deeper I got into Jerusalem, the closer I got to the Holy Grail. And the Holy Grail, unfortunately, doesn't sit either in...
It's moving all the time.
Exactly.
It's moving.
You like Tel Aviv?
I don't know Tel Aviv well enough.
You don't
I
know
like
Tel Aviv?
going to the beach there. It's nice. It's relaxed. I think Jerusalem can be very tense because of the religious tensions
Yes.
between the different societies.
And you don't think in the end that's going to kill off all men of good faith?
Look, difficulties exist everywhere. I think this is a problem. Men of goodwill will always exist, and there is more need for them where there are problems and difficulties. And ultimately, this is why you keep on coming back to Jerusalem.
I keep coming back to Jerusalem because of you and Peter.
Yeah.
I've long since passed the stage where I think that anything very much can be done, but maybe something small which can act as a lighthouse to others, I do believe.
Here's our tea and coffee.
Which
so
is
much.
why, by the way, I invented the East Jerusalem Hotel Proprietors Association.
You know, for some Israeli, Tel Aviv is like the holy
Okay.
city.
You will now
Really?
learn after
Because they
me
like
in
all
Arabic,
the
Mutashakir.
I like
cinema,
Tel Aviv.
eat,
I like the nightlife, the
Muta.
restaurants.
nightlife.
What's that
But
mean?
also people
Thank
are
you
much
very
more
much.
relaxed.
Muta.
Why can't, don't you just say
Yes.
I
shukran?
find them very
No,
relaxed and very
that's
easygoing.
course.
Not like
Ah,
Jerusalem.
that's why it's
Jerusalem, you
saying
say hello to
Shukran,
somebody, he looks at
Talmud.
you upside down,
No.
like, why are you swearing at me, They have a different attitude in Tel
Yes.
Aviv.
And this is what Benji's ladies feel. She says Tel Aviv is my And he tried to convince her, no way.
I know many people who used to live in Jerusalem but decided to move to Tel Aviv, not for economic reasons, but for social reasons.
Yes.
Either because their neighbors are difficult to cope with or religious, mostly the religious aspect. They wanted something more relaxed, something more cosmopolitan.
You feel that Jerusalem has changed a lot in the last few years or decades?
Absolutely, it's very polarized now, very, very polarized. It's not the Jerusalem I grew up in. Jerusalem I grew up in, it was sort of, well, East and West Jerusalem I'm talking about. Was already,
You grew up in the 60s in Jerusalem.
yeah, correct, yeah. Before 67. But even the early, the
Which year,
70s,
sorry Samir, which year did you start studying in Manchester? 60 what? 67?
No, 70 odd.
Ah, okay, so you're a little bit younger than I am.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you lived in the Jordan occupied part of when it was
In
divided?
Jerusalem.
When it was the Jordan part, was it?
It was Jordanian, yeah. I remember the Jordanian, I remember the 6-Day War as well.
Of course, my father
Do you
was born
remember a
here.
British general?
1923, he was born in Jerusalem.
Do you remember a British general called Glub Pasha?
Jordan, he was more in Jordan then.
Yeah.
Well, he was the head of the Jordanian army, but he was British.
Till he got sacked in 54.
Listen,
Well,
nobody can hold on in Jerusalem. Nobody.
I think he shaped the Jordanian army. I think.
Yeah.
I would say that the shape that he put it in and left it in didn't really leave them in a good situation, let's say in 67. It didn't. But today, the Bedouin fighter tradition of Muhammad and his father, his late father, I think they're in an excellent situation to do quite a lot with the ISIS, I don't know how you call this, Daesh.
The Yash, they call it in Arabic.
Daesh. Daesh.
I call it Al-Duri. Because I know who's really behind it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's a horrific aspect of today's history, you know. I think it's something which is horrific. It is,
Samir, what are we going to do? What are we going to do?
you know what really amazes me is where do they get their money from? Where do they get the arms from? How do they get it through borders into Syria, into Iraq?
None of that interests me in the slightest. Not the logistics, not the economics.
Why?
What bothers me is why has hatred triumphed?
But doesn't hatred go hand in hand with love?
It goes hand in hand with and needs to be overcome in order that love can ultimately triumph.
Otherwise, men of good faith like yourself will have nothing to do.
Now,
I've
that's
had-
the back.
I've had a reasonable number of offers which I have not been able to say no to, but I leave on hold and say, wait a minute, let's just get finished with. I'm available for offers in the year 2021, which is our master plan. In Nabi Samui.
Samir, if we go to sleep now and we get up in 1 century, 100 years, in Jerusalem, what do you think will happen here in Jerusalem in 100 years?
Maybe the earthquake would have swallowed it.
That's the
into
best.
ground.
That's the best scenario.
It may be the easiest scenario, the easiest solution.
Is there a geological record of the last times that Jerusalem suffered an earthquake?
26.
My father.
1926?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
when
Was there considerable damage to buildings?
Huge,
considerable
huge,
damage.
26?
yes.
Yeah, my father used to tell me about it.
In Tzfat,
It was-
Jerusalem, exactly. Indeed.
Is it 26 or 29?
Yes, exactly.
One of those.
26.
So I can't even sell the place in terms of being safe physically from the wrath of God.
No, yet I ask myself, why do people stay here?
You don't need to look very far.
You do. And what's your answer?
Listen, you'll have to excuse me because someone is waiting for me in Bejara. I have to leave.
I understand that Hanan doesn't come with you here anymore.
She does voluntary. No, she comes, but she does a bit of work here, and she does voluntary work at school.
Please send my warmest regards both to her and to Majd.
Understood. Majd.
Majd. Please, it's okay for us to sit
You're
here
very welcome. Feel at home.
feeling the
And,
vibrations of good Jerusalem.
Absolutely. You know, you're in it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I need a business plan.
Well, it will come. All in due course.
I thank you.
Benji, nice of you to come in.
Thank
Very
you.
nice to meet you. Okay.
All the best. It's
Bye-bye.
hard.
From running away, quote unquote, running away from something which was known or safer or more familiar, and coming to Jerusalem for massive doses of total immersion. That's what kept me going for decades, quite literally for decades. The first time I saw an image of Jerusalem which was not a photograph was that image that we have in our salon, in our drawing room, on the wall.
With that map.
I had no idea what it was. I had no idea what it meant. I only half understood Greek letters because Itzhaki never taught me physics and maths from a Greek letter point of view. And it's never gone away. And yet I'm the fifth type of Jerusalemite.
The fifth type.
The first type of Jerusalemite is he who was born, bred, educated, loves, works, builds a family, and vacations somewhere else. It then goes in different degrees to where I fit in. That I don't live here, I don't work from here, I don't manage to make a livelihood from Jerusalem and because of Jerusalem. I die to be here, and I die a little every time I can't be here. I can't actually say that to very many people. And when it is that I am ready, ready is a difficult word, when I am fit and worthy, that's when I'll manage to get here to Jerusalem. Because I'll then have the agreement and the support and the love of all the family and all the friends.
Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be a while.
It'll be 2021. The
That-
framework of our project is the first stage to be completed by 2021.
Okay.
Tell us about Samir.
No,
Okay.
I'll let you come back and photograph him some more. I told you. I gate crashed. I gate crashed his. I gate crashed his palace. It's actually called Knight's Palace. The name of the hotel is Knight's Palace. And he found me. I was, dream time. I was dream timing around his palace. And he nabbed me. And in his very British gentlemanly way, you understand that he had a quite extensive education, because his family has been in the hotel owning business for a long time.
He runs the hotel.
Yes, but he's not the owner, he's a proprietor.
Right.
And both the hotels, both this one that we're in now and the one we were in before, are actually the property of the Vatican.
He's a manager.
And he's the manager of both of them. And the place is...
Smart. fellow.
Jerusalem is deserted. And I'm going to try and take you now to a couple of places which are a little bit more full of action without being noisy. And please do not lapse into that dreadful Hebrew of yours, assuming that everyone in Palestine speaks Hebrew.
Apologies.
He has my friend Samir, my brother Samir. He actually has a conscious decision not to speak or understand Hebrew.
He understands but doesn't speak.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't want to understand. You open your mouth to him in Hebrew, he'll answer you in English until you
But you
understand.
understand, like the French, understand but
I
don't
don't
want to
know.
speak.
I don't know. Just be a little bit.
Apologies. More discreet.
You really, really have to be delicate about
Yes.
everything and everyone in Jerusalem.
Absolutely.
Number one, because they have a story. Number two, because the story is the least expected thing you'd ever hear on earth. And if you just shut up and don't communicate in any language which are known, you'll find the modus vivendi. You'll
Spot on.
find the lingua franca.
Spot on.
And it absolutely is not Hebrew. The next time I bring you here, I'll bring you to a native
I'll speak
who
Arabic.
is a building contractor and whose family has moved out from the old city to one of the suburbs nearby. And he's a blood brother. He's not a brother like Samir, who is a brother in the philosophical sense.
You never talk politics, obviously. Of course not.
It starts with the very fact that they can't leave the country by air without going through a million different security checkups so that they can fly out. I once had to implement some protectia in order to enable Samir and his wife, Hanan. Hanan is persona non grata anywhere in Israel outside of Jerusalem.
Why?
Because she's a Palestinian Christian.
But
She doesn't have the entitlement by being a native of Bethlehem.
Oh, she's a refugee from Bethlehem.
She's not a refugee at all. She's a highly educated
No, what I'm saying
lady
is
who was
most of
born
the
up in a
Christians
fine
left
family.
Bethlehem.
Yeah, they've been booted
They've been
out.
booted out by the
Not-
Muslims.
Exactly so.
But
So,
she's got the Israeli
she's
passport.
not. She's
There
not
were
an Israeli Arab.
two enclaves of West Bank cities, two enclaves which were almost totally Christian at some stage. Bethlehem is one of them, and El Bira, next to Ramallah, is the second. Tzchaki, drink your coffee. They're waiting for
His
us.
wife hasn't got the Israeli passport,
No,
even though she married him.
doesn't matter.
So she can't go to Tel Aviv like him.
She can't.
But there's no border.
Doesn't matter.
She can hop to the car.
There's KGB everywhere. There's KGB everywhere. When she wants to leave the country, if she doesn't want to go to Amman and fly out of Jordan from Amman,
She
can
cannot
do it.
fly. She cannot fly from Ben Gurion Airport. He can fly.
And I never asked him, never once asked him, not just because of Chatetanot, I never once asked him, tell me something. Did you take out the option of every Palestinian Jerusalemite, non-Jewish, of actually taking a blue card? Never asked him. I don't know.
But it's automatic.
He is militantly facing on a daily basis what he considers to be the occupation. All of which and none of which interests me, except when it comes to the convenience of his family or his business, which enables him to fly out from Lud. In the end, they had to activate even a higher level of
Vitamin P.
I don't know what they call it in Arabic, vitamin P.
Yeah. Ksharim.
Please drink up your coffee.
There are some bad ones. I mean, the rock throwers, they're paid by NGOs. The rock throwers, they're actually giving cash to throw rocks. It's all fake by UN NGOs with an agenda.
Okay.
Amazing, isn't it?
The last thing that I
Cynical
want to
world we
do
live in.
is to get to a place where, in any case, we're not ready for you. I need someone in Holland who can give a lecture in Dutch with an English text behind him.
Yeah.
Stones in the pond, you won't drown.
Cool.
The places that I take you from here on are places where we can all get lost if we don't stay absolutely cool.
Cool.
How was your coffee?
That was good, yeah. That was good. It's fine.
I trust you will thank Samir as we leave,
Yes.
not just for his hospitality, but for being who he is.
Yeah.
For being
Who he is. Who he is.
who he is. Sure.
He is, in blasé terms, a Jerusalem brother. And I have many of them, of different sorts. And one day I am absolutely going to get the whole thing together to operate and to act in the name of all of humanity. That they'll know that Jerusalem is where it's from, Jerusalem is where it goes out from, and where ultimately Jerusalem, where I can't take you today, the timing is not right, to show you the Holy of Holies and for us to tread on the sacred rock. Okay?
Shall we pay now?
It says true Arab hospitality, which we were offered in the way of coffee.
Samir the boss here?
He runs
He runs.
both as manager, as active manager, and to this day I have not yet seen a single guest.
Single what?
Guest? You know,
In the hotel.
hostels and hotels run on.
Yeah.
You've never been in a hotel where there are no clientele.
Well, looks like this one.
You know what? Great idea. Get in touch with your Rothschild.
Shukran. Thanks very much.
What I said, David, was 1,001 thanks. Straight out of Shirel Zaga.
Oh, yeah. Rimsky Korsakov.
My deepest thanks. This is my friend Itzhaki. Get a close-up of him. He is called His Beatitude Theophilus III, and he is the Archipatriarch, the Greek Archipatriarch of Jerusalem. I'm going to try and get an interview with him for you.
Where is the lady here?
My deepest respects to the manager and to the lady behind the scenes.